Good evening to one and all present here for the 111th episode of Future Talk series conducted by Prayana. This is Tejaswini, your host for the day. I would like to welcome all the viewers of this session. Now let's have a look at the Prayana organization. Isha, can we have the second slide? Prayana, a unique employability, entrepreneurship, and innovative ecosystem for women. Prayana Labs gives wholesome career support services right from career counseling, training, mentoring, and recruitment services under one umbrella. You can also check us at www.prayana.org. Are you a student, a working woman, or a woman who wants to resume career after a long break and upgrade your skills? Then Prayana is just the right platform for you. It's a community hub where you can share your thoughts, ideas, and network with women of similar interest. We also provide membership programs and learning modules over internationally and well acclaimed mentors. So check our app right now, Prayana Collective or Prakol. The next slide, please. India's first e-commerce platform that is dedicated to empowerment of women. The platform is uniquely designed with an attractive affiliate marketing model where all customers are given opportunity for lifetime savings and earnings. Check us at www.prakol.com. Here's how you can actively interact in today's session. The next slide. Post your queries at the Post your queries at the live chat on our YouTube channel. The queries will be shared to the guest live and answered. During this pandemic, it was common for most of us to hear words from people to hope for positivity and believe in changes. Well, how many of them could sit with us and talk about this? This evening, we'll have live interaction with the speaker of the session, Ms. Anupama Shur Chavla, Director at Shur Travel and Tours Kenya and owner at Aveda Kumarakom Kerala. Let's have a look at Ms. Anupama Shur Chavla's profile. Ms. Anupama Shur Chavla is a traveler consultant of Special Area African Safaris, Director at Shur Travel and Tours Kenya. Shur Safaris is the trade name of Shur Africa, a tour operator and travel group with offices in Kenya. Owner at Aveda Kumarakom, Kerala, Aveda Kumarakom is the newest boutique luxury resort in picturesque of natural settings. Let's all have a look at a short clipping of the resort designed by Ms. Anupama Shur Chavla, ma'am.
Isha, hello, Isha.
Yes.
The music is not audible of the video.
Oh, I'm not really sure why that's happening because it's audible to me.
Uh,
Audible to me either.
It's not audible.
no, just check in your Zoom. There will be an option which says computer audio. Click on it and then play the video.
Is it audible right now?
Yeah. Good. Now it is.
Should I start over again?
Just make the volume 100. It's 90 right now. Yeah.
Should I start
Okay.
over?
Yeah. Please. Continue.
Okay.
This was the overview of the beautiful resort designed by Anupama ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. It's a real pleasure for me to be here today on the 111th episode of Prayana. When I was asked to talk to everybody today in the show, I, I was in a little bit of a dilemma. Uh, Being from the travel industry background, I was wondering what my topic of discussion should be about. Then I decided simply talking about myself, my roots, challenges faced not only by me, but by women all over the world would be the topic of discussion. Women wear different hats, different caps, a mother, a wife, a daughter, a boss. Life is constantly throwing new challenges at us. But we women are amazing. We try our level best to do justice to the various roles, be it at home, at work, or both. So, what is a magic formula that works for us? Well, we all have our own magic formula. We have our own priorities to make our journey in life easier and more fun. I, like you, am also on a life's journey. I'm an ordinary woman giving and sharing a few simple tips on what I do, what I am learning, and what I'm trying to improve, and how I'm trying to evolve on my journey. Currently, I live in the beautiful village of Kumarakom. Kumarakom village is on the banks of Lake Vambanath in Kerala. As you may all know, Kerala is known as God's own country. Lush green, beautiful, and of course, famous for the Kerala houseboats. Who doesn't know about that? So you will ask, how did I get to Kumarakom? Well, audience, I am actually a North Indian, born and brought up in Kenya, Africa, and now I'm happily settled in the village of Kumarakom. Well, where did it all start? I'll take you back to Africa. I was born in Nairobi, Kenya, and I am a third generation Indian Kenyan. My maternal grandfather migrated to Kenya almost 100 years ago. Can you believe that? 100 years ago. Indians being always adventurous and enterprising are always looking for better opportunities, greener pastures, better places to be, for better opportunities for their families. They embrace any new land that they go to and they make it their home. They adapt, they adjust, they prosper wherever they go. My grandfather started working at the tender age of 12. He worked along with his father and his relatives, and the hard work led to success. And today, the family is still involved in a flourishing cycle business that span all over East Africa, thanks to the foresight of our forefathers who could see the future of the cycle mart business in Kenya. My mom was born in Kenya. My dad, a lawyer by profession, also decided to settle in Kenya after marriage to my beautiful mom. And he also got involved in the cycle business, amongst other things. My childhood is something that I look back with a lot of fond memories. I was privileged. Certainly, I feel I was privileged because I lived in a place free of pollution, close to nature, and I enjoyed the simple pleasures of life that unfortunately I cannot offer and we cannot offer to our children today. Living in a small town, it was easy for me to walk anywhere I wanted to go, be it to the supermarket, to the library, to the cake shop. And you could actually drive around the entire town in 15 minutes. That is Nakuru town for you. Life was simple and everyone knew everyone else. No malls, few restaurants, one cinema hall, one theater, and many, many weekends spent with family in the Lake Nakuru National Park. Yes, the Lake Nakuru National Park is world famous. Why is it world famous? Because here you can see a variety of beautiful animals, including the endangered white rhino. And there are hundreds of amazing birds. When I say I saw the lion in the eye. I mean, just that. Many, many times I was surrounded by beautiful animals. And when I say I spend my afternoons amidst giraffes, well, I mean just that. Because I had the opportunity to see nature and to enjoy wildlife close up. This is in sharp contrast to what our children's lives are like today. Unfortunate. Kenya still remains unchanged in many respects, untouched by the concrete jungles around the world. A country with amazing flora and amazing fauna and amazing national parks spread all over the country. Well, talking of challenges, my first challenge came when I left my safe nest, which I called my home, so to speak, and went overseas to pursue my studies for the first time. Coming from a close knit family, I suddenly found myself lost, lost and alone. A face amongst many faces. People around me had blank, expressionless faces. I traveled on the public transport for the first time in my life with fear. I dealt with the cold weather, the winters, which I had never seen before. And I was gripped with anxiety, and I felt a sense of depression. It was times like this that we can and we must reach out to our support system. So who are and who make up the support system? Our support system lies in our family, our nearest, our dearest, and our family, our parents, our siblings, and our good, loyal friends who have a good influence on us. And in difficult times, I turned to prayer. Prayer helped me tremendously to relieve anxiety and to get a sense of peace and strength, inner strength. After finishing my studies, I decided to head back home in my safe nest once again, you will say. Of course. Once again, back in Kenya, I was determined to establish my business in the town, which I loved, the town I had grown up in, Nakuru. Unfortunately, there was a strong monopoly by the true travel companies who were old and well established in that area. To make it and to be successful in my field, I realized I needed more than family support, more than prayers. I needed something drastic. So, what was that? Hard work. To succeed in life, we have to work hard. There is no shortcut. And determination, the willpower to continue and give your best. And great people skills. You have to be a people's person to do well in any trade, in any business, whatever it may be, especially in the travel business. In a new venture where other people had a monopoly, you have to work harder and smarter. And how do you succeed? How do you become better? Well, this is my strategy, and I used it to the maximum. Faster responses, better customer service, better prices, feedback from the customers. Whenever my customers came back from a holiday, I made sure that I called them up and ask them what went right, what went wrong, did they have a good time? So that was very important to make me a success. I worked harder than my staff because the boss has to work side by side and you have to be a team. And then only you will get success. By working harder, your team realizes that they have a strong leader in you. One very important rule that worked and we still adapt in our business today is the customer is always right. Yes, that's what I said. The customer is always right. With this strategy of always putting your customer first, you are in a winning position. Helping your customer, listening, simply by listening, rather than talking, offering sympathy when things go wrong, finding a solution. These are the important things that make an ordinary business a success. I strongly believed that armed with these, you can make a success of any venture. In 2002, I met my husband, Prashant, and decided to leave my happy nest and move to Mumbai, India. I left behind my flourishing career, my family, and I moved into a concrete jungle. Yes, a concrete jungle. My husband had also relocated recently from the US and was in the midst of setting up his new venture, an IT company in Mumbai. He worked long hours, odd hours, and spent his weekends catching up on his sleep. So basically, and as is often the case, reality hit. From cloud 9, I went down to cloud 0. As women, anywhere, we are constantly being tested. We constantly have to reinvent ourselves. We have to learn to adapt, whatever the circumstances. Some of the challenges I faced, and many women like me face all over the world. The biggest challenge is loneliness. How to get over the loneliness, especially when you're busy working and suddenly you have endless days ahead of you with nothing to do. Distance from my family made me feel very heavy-hearted and very sad. Another issue that I faced was language-related issue. Not ever having learned Hindi, where I studied in Kenya, I didn't know how to read, write, and I was not fluent in Hindi. So how does one cope? Can I continue to grumble to my friends, to my family, to my husband? Or can I find solutions myself? I decided that I was not going to give up. I never give up. I always win. And how do I win? I decide to heal myself whenever I find myself in a difficult place, in a difficult spot. I look inside of me for strength, inner strength, and I heal myself. This is something many of us have to learn to do because we don't always have anybody to share our problems with. But if you learn to heal yourself, then you have an answer to your problems. So what do I do? How do you heal yourself? Well, what I do is simple. Whenever I'm in anguish, whenever I'm depressed, whenever I'm sad, I write down. I write down my thoughts. I write it in a diary or I write it on a piece of paper. And after I have poured out my heart to myself, I read it. And I read it once, I read it twice, I read it thrice. And then I try to write about something positive. What is good? What's happening well around me? The blue skies, beautiful, the kind people, the good meal that I had, the unexplored opportunities. I had the opportunity to see another city. So that is what I did. I looked inside myself and I found the strength to go on. Another thing that I turned to often in the past and I turn to now again, I visited this beautiful church, the St. Mary's Church in Mumbai. And I fell in love with it. And I started going often. I would go, I would sit. I don't think I would even pray or say anything. But the peace of mind I got just being in that beautiful environment healed me and made me feel stronger and capable of going on. Gradually and slowly, I got the strength to return again, once again, to my travel business. And I opened up my travel office in Mumbai, corporate travel house. Unfortunately, I decided to do something wrong. I decided rather than to focus on my area of specialization, which is African safaris, I decided to do what everybody else was doing in the travel industry at that time. Do it all. Bookings, flights, hotel bookings, local travel. And I lost what I was passionate about. I didn't focus on Africa. And what happened? I was not very successful in the end. And while I was making mistakes and thinking about what I should do next, then another new chapter started in my life. Motherhood, here you come. In 2008, life took a complete turn, and I mean a complete turn. This time with the birth of my beautiful twin boys. I was overwhelmed and happy and excited all at the same time. I hoped and I wished for more family support, but unfortunately, that was not available to me at that time. But who came to the rescue? Or what came to the rescue? I was alone, but what came to the rescue? I thought about the management skills I had learned at work, about being organized, about thinking ahead, about time management. And I realized that unless I used the very same skills in managing my family, my children, my husband, my home, I would not be very successful. So that is what I did. I wrote down everything that I had to do. I was organized. I thought about what had to happen a day from now, a week ahead. And I managed the people around me. And I set a good example by working once again harder than those around me. My husband was still busy and often away traveling for work. So my support system, whenever he was away, was my family, my parents, my siblings, my friends, and very, very importantly, my very loyal and very, very loving and caring staff members. I can't forget the many, many times that I reached out and I called my driver at very odd hours and asked him to come by as soon as possible and to drive me to hospital with a sick child, with the maid in tow carrying the second child. And it was at this time when they were at age 2 that we had moved to Bangalore. Moving to Bangalore came with its own set of problems. My children were constantly down with cough, cold, allergies, all common to living in Bangalore. In 2015, in July 2015, I and the boys were again in for another move, this time from Bangalore to Kochi to join my husband, who was busy managing his new enterprise, Aveda Kumarakam. This was again a time for changes. So this time, the changes were even greater for my 2 boys, because moving from an international school in Bangalore, they found themselves in a CBSE school, which was totally different. They had language issues because they certainly had to learn Malayalam. There were weather-related issues because they had not been used to living in the harsh and humid Kerala climate. That meant it was difficult to go out and play at any time of the day. And of course, the biggest issue for them was lack of friends. They complained endlessly. And the mother, as always, is always blamed for this change. So I always had to hear my children tell me that it is I and I alone who is responsible for bringing them to Cochin. And I alone must find a solution to their problems. Remaining positive becomes harder, much harder, when your children are unhappy. So it takes more time to adjust. But as always, I tried to focus, tried to find that inner strength and positivity so that I could handle the change. So, what was going well for us in Cochin? Well, for a start, the air was a lot cleaner, and my children had less health issues. Being close to water meant that it was a wonderful opportunity for them to learn so many new sports. They learned how to paddle their boats. They learned how to do sailing. They became better swimmers. And something that they're very passionate about, fishing. Fishing became a very, very important part of their lives. And they absolutely love to go fishing as often as they can. And one very important aspect was that being at Aveda Kumarakum whenever they could meant that my children gained confidence dealing with other people. Their social skills got developed, and they got a chance to show and share their knowledge of fishing, their knowledge about rabbits, their knowledge about turtles. So they were busy and happy entertaining the guests often and telling them all about the different kinds of fish, and even took them out along on fishing trips. So, I summarize my talks and would like to end with some very powerful thoughts. This is something that I have put together, but I have not had the courage to share. It's actually something that is of my creation. This is something that I have created, my thoughts, and I have shared it as a poem. So I'm going to share it and I'm going to read it out to you today. This thought is a choice. This thought is a choice. You are powerful enough to choose how you experience life. Stay calm when faced with a challenge and tell yourself, this thought is a choice. I make the choice. I decide whether I want to be happy or whether I want to be sad. Joy is right here. Joy is right here. When you feel that joy is out of reach, the goal is in the distant future, dependent on others outside of yourself, whatever feeling washes over you. Surrender to your sadness or to your anger and let it pass. Just know you don't need to wallow there forever. It doesn't define you. The joy is right here. When you feel that joy is out of reach, the goal is in the distant future, dependent on others, outside of yourself. Whatever feelings washes over you, surrender to your sadness and surrender to your anger. Let it pass. So it's okay. To feel angry, and it's okay to feel sad sometimes. Don't keep it inside of you. Share it. Just know you don't need to wallow there forever. It doesn't define you. Feeling sad occasionally or feeling angry doesn't define you. Learn by doing. Learn by doing. For times when perfectionism, fear of failure, doubt or regret are threatening your peace. I'll repeat. Learn by doing. For times when perfectionism, fear of failure, doubt or regret are threatening your peace. Take the power away from the word failure. You take the power away from the word failure. There is no word like failure. Trying and sometimes failing, trying and sometimes failing is the fastest way to learn. Trying and sometimes failing is the fastest way to learn. Mistakes are chances to learn something. Mistakes are chances to learn something. Learning comes from doing. Don't be afraid to go after your dreams. Don't be afraid to try something new. If you don't try, how will you ever know if you're good enough or you're not? Today, I am for the first time in my life on Prayana's 111th episode. Did I know that I could do this? No. Was I afraid? Yes. Did I try? Yes. But it's only by trying that you will succeed. Trying and sometimes failing is the fastest way to learning. Don't ever forget that. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. For when you feel bruised, when you feel battered, when you feel heartbroken, when you feel lost, and your emotions are running high, just remember, this is not going to last forever. This too shall pass. Whatever you're experiencing in the moment won't last forever. Whatever it is that you're going through today, whatever the pain, whatever the problem, it's only in this moment and it will not last forever. No negative emotion or situation is permanent. Remember that there is no negative emotion that you will hold in your heart for the rest of your life. There is no situation that is going to be permanent. Our life every minute is changing. Change is the only constant. There is nothing that will ever be the same. So remember, this too shall pass. Life doesn't have to be perfect every day. Life doesn't have to be perfect every day. Don't be too hard on yourself. There's enough for everyone. There's enough for everyone. So when you feel greed, when you feel envy, when you feel jealousy, when you feel fear of loss slowly creeping in, and trying to take away your peace of mind, remember to think of abundance. Think of all the things that are available in plenty, rather than think of what is not enough. We have all the gifts to share, all the gifts to share in the form of love, in the form of our hearing, listening to others, giving them a shoulder to cry on, being there for them when they need you to be strong. We all have gifts to share and stories to tell, and there is room for all of them. There is always room for all of them. There is enough love, enough life, enough of everything that you need. Just remember that there is always enough love, enough life, enough of everything that you need. Be easy. Be easy. For when you feel mentally, emotionally, and physically exhausted, when you feel mentally, emotionally, physically exhausted, keep it simple. When you feel tired and when you feel stressed, boil it down to what really matters. Know what matters the most. What matters the most in your life. It's different for every human being, and you know what is the most important thing in your life. Value that, cherish that, cherish the beautiful people around you. The small things, it's okay and easy and healthy to slow down. So stop prioritizing the small things. Choose your battles. That's one thing I learned, and I'm still learning today. You choose your battles, even with my boys. It's not easy. It's easier to hear a no rather than a yes to many, many things, I will say. So rather than arguing, I have learned one lesson in life, or I'm still learning, I must say. Choose the battles. Decide what is it that you're going to argue about, what is it that you really want them to do, and what is it that you're going to let go. So I think, having said that, I will get back to the host who will possibly want to share some more with you.
Thank you so much, Anupama ma'am, for sharing your life experiences and also pointing out at your tough times and the ways to deal with it. This was truly inspirational and insightful for us.
Thank you so
Ma'am,
much.
we have few. You're welcome, ma'am. We have your questions posted in the YouTube comment section from our viewers, and we have selected 5 best questions from them. It would be great if you could answer those, ma'am.
I'll certainly
One of
try.
the Yes, ma'am. One of the viewers asked that I hear from people speaking about positivity from all around, but most of the times fail to discuss about toxic positivity. Please let me know how to deal with this.
Well, what I will say, there are always positive people around us, and there is always the negative element. We cannot have a balance. It cannot always be positivity. There will always be negativity. There will always be people who will not appreciate what you do for them. There will always be people who will put you down. And I will tell you one thing, that I have had my fair share of that. So what do? It's not that I don't get angry. It's not that I don't get depressed. It's not that I don't get hurt. But how do you deal with the toxic people around you? So I will suggest to you, you reach within yourself. You write down your thoughts. You write down whatever is bothering you and whatever the person has said which has made you angry. Remember, when there are people who are negative and want to put you down, it's not your problem, it's their problem. They are having excess baggage that they are dealing with. They are not happy in their lives and they want to make others around them unhappy. Don't let other people's negativity get to you. Try and stay positive and try and do something for yourself every day, something small that will keep you positive and happy.
Thank you for answering that question, ma'am. Another viewer asks how to be grateful and stay positive when most of the situations are going against us.
Well, I will say in answer to that a lot of things are going against us. When I will tell you something today. I am talking to you about positivity, but our business, the travel business, has been very badly affected. Our resort, our restaurant, our overseas offices in Kenya have been closed down for several months. Our staff, we are talking about 200 people or more, many of them are unemployed, and many of them are looking to us and asking us how we are going to help them and when we are going to open and resume our business again. We have stressful situations that we are dealing with, but at this times it is more important to focus on what is going right, to pray and to think about what is a little bit of positivity. Who are the people around you? Your family is around you, and the people who matter the most. Look at the things which are positive and get strength from them.
Thank you for answering that question, ma'am. Yes, sometimes we actually forget to concentrate on the right things when everything is not going right with us. And it was truly a great answer, ma'am. Another viewer asks, when most of the situations are in favor of us, it is normal to be grateful. But we may fail to be aware of the situations which might get adverse. How can this be dealt?
Could you repeat that question, please?
Yes, ma'am. When most of the situations are in favor of us, it is normal to be grateful, but we may fail to be aware of the situations which might get adverse. How can this be dealt?
I agree with you. I agree with you. When things are going great for us, there are very few people who will be thankful. We will not. We will be busy enjoying all the pleasures and all the all the happiness around us, and all the positivity, and we forget sometimes to look back and thank God for what we have. And then, when we are faced with any adverse situation and any situation which is, which makes us feel negative, at that time, I think we need to look within ourselves and find the inner strength, and we need to find the ability to go on. And I'm sure we can all do that.
Thank you for answering the question, ma'am, and also pointing out on the element of your strength. Here's another viewer who asks, why do people say believe in change when they are not sure if it's going to be a positive or a negative change?
I hope I'll be able to answer this question. Why do people talk about change when they're not sure whether it's going to be a positive or a negative change? Well, I don't think anybody is going out with anybody is hoping for a negative change. I think, when we are all talking about change, we are all only hoping for something positive to happen in our lives. So why don't we focus on what is positive? When we look at a glass of water, we can look at it a half glass full of water. We can decide to look at it and say the glass is half full, or we can decide to say the glass is half empty. Similarly, in life, we can dwell on what is negative and what is hurtful and what is not going right. But dwelling on it is not going to make us stronger and will not make the situation go away. But then, when we are dwelling on solutions, when you're thinking about solutions, how are you going to make things better? Then you will find the solutions. So I think it's very important to be positive. Always try and remain positive, whatever the circumstances.
Thank you, ma'am, and also for pointing out the concept of perception. It's all dependent on one's perception, whether to take it positive or negative. Thank you for that, ma'am. Another viewer says, I feel that I have grown better after facing situations which were adverse to me. I feel that I have grown better after facing situations which were adverse to me. Does this mean that positive and negative are nothing by itself and depends on the way we take it?
Yes, I also agree. I agree with that particular viewer. I feel that in life, we need sugar and salt. We need smooth edges and we need rough edges. We need good things and sometimes we need tough lessons. To make a person whole, to make a person strong, to make a person mature, you need to go through everything. You need to go through the good and you need to go through the bad. And when I look back at my life, there are many things that went well in my life, and there were many situations that were very difficult and hurtful, even when I look back today. But when I look back at the difficult situations, I feel that I came out as a stronger human being after going through the difficult situations. It was easy to deal with the happy situations. It was difficult to deal with the difficult situations, but I came out stronger and I was more able to deal with bigger problems and bigger situations in the future. So I agree with you.
Thank you, ma'am. By this, we come to an end of the query session. Thank you, viewers, for posting all your questions, and thank you so much, ma'am, for answering to all the questions with great patience. You can also share your feedback for the session to our YouTube channel as a comment. The next slide.
Thank you so much. It was a real pleasure
Advertising or-
being on the show.
You're welcome, ma'am. For advertisements and sponsorship, Mail us to joinprayana@gmail.com. The next slide. At the end of the session, I would like to thank each and everyone who were a part of this session. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us insights and mantras to stay positive and also believing in the change of magic. This was truly an insightful session for all of us. And thank you, Isha, for being the technical support for this session.